Hi, this is my year-end review video. I think for the past 3-4 months, I've been consistently putting in videos once in a week or 2 videos a month whenever I build something. So I think I felt I need to upload an year-end video because I enjoy year-end videos a lot. I usually wait for my favorite creators to upload their year-end video and see what they're gonna do in the next year and how their past year was. So suddenly I saw a few people subscribing in last 2-3 days, and I don't know how, because out of this 12 subscribers, five of them are my friends and I know them, but others were totally random people. I didn't ask anybody to subscribe or I didn't promote and whatsoever. And most importantly, one of my videos has reached 1K views, which is a very huge thing for me. I uploaded this video 2 years back for my blockchain course, I guess. And that video has gone well and it has reached 1K view. But that video involves a lot of work. I just recorded it properly, edited it properly, made sure everything is fine, because that's when I'll get marks. But all other videos in my channel are too random, no edits whatsoever, just randomly taking some videos out there and then I'm putting it in YouTube. So I just wanted to make this year-end video and reflect upon how my year went. So I think let's get started. uh, the first video which I uploaded was 2 years back, and then I started re-uploading videos only from August. The main reason are below. I think I have this keen interest in venturing into research and deep tech, which I am already doing. But venturing into research means knowing a lot of things about tech, and then more importantly, ability to teach things to others. I think this will be a primer for me to learn and just implement it in front of you guys and upload video. I just strongly feel that the portfolio days are over, and now it's more about what you know, show proof of work, and then if you can talk about it clearly, it is even more easier. I think that's one of the reason why I'm uploading YouTube video. But most importantly, I don't have anything to do in my free time, so I really enjoy creating videos. It is super fun, and especially my mom likes it. She doesn't understand what's in there, but she feels happy that I'm using my film degree to create videos, but it has absolute no relation. But at least she's happy. That's the reason. Let's see how what I did in this year. Uh, I don't even remember what exactly happened in this whole year. It was that bad or that bore. But I remember few key things which happened in the year, which I just noted down. In January, I stopped doing competitive programming completely. I think I retired at candidate master, and I have no intention to coming back and doing competitive programming. It was fun, but I realized there are a lot of better things to do, and I'm very thankful for the algorithmic knowledge which I gained through competitive programming, and I stopped competing in any contest since Jan. In March, I started venturing into cloud and understanding cloud better by, I think from December I kept working on something related to cloud, one thing or the other, and then at March there was this tipping point where I need to learn everything, at least the basic level, to progress further. So I just completed AWS certified cloud practitioner in March, and I would be completing its solutions architect by this month or next month, most probably. So that's the that in February nothing happened, and I vaguely remember nothing good happened in March apart from this exam. I think from mid Jan I started preparing for this exam, and then by mid March or something I cleared this exam. And I didn't study anything for past 1.5 years, like in study in the sense sitting and preparing for an exam. So it felt really difficult to sit, write notes. Uh, and study for this exam. And there is no other reason for me to prepare for this exam, but some for some reason I just wrote this exam, and then it was very useful for me when I started building projects later in the year, which cut cost tremendously, and I keep using AWS only, so that's a good thing. From April onwards, the cricket season started, and then lots and lots of cricket throughout the year until yesterday. It was this whole year was about watching cricket, unlike past years where I used to play cricket. So from April, it was all about watching cricket, and then we reached August, and then everything took turn. I think I started to get sick from in the beginning of August, and it got worse at the end of August. And then when I closed and opened my eyes, it's December. I think I'm battling it for past 4 5 months. But August is where I started to build a lot of projects in this year, because I kept learning in the first half of the year, and then I felt that August is the right time to put things into action. This is my social battery of this year. It is pretty bad. It is worse. But I just watched 2 movies in theater this year, which is, I don't know how many percentage lower. I think I watched around 75 films last year in theater, and this year I watched 2 films, and you know whose movie it was. And then I, as usual, travel to 0 places. I hate traveling. I hate meeting people, so just 0 places traveled. I exactly know how many people I interacted this year. That's how bad my social interactions were this year. I just interacted with seven of my friends outside of my office colleagues this year. Interaction in the sense offline interaction. And then I just played one professional cricket match in 2024, and I think I would play a match or two in the start of this year. In terms of workout, this screenshot was taken the first week of December. So it has 76 workout, and then I worked out past 2 3 weeks consistently, so it will be around 90 days. Shout out to Heavy App. This app is a game changer. I keep insisting people to start using this app. Now all my friends are in Heavy App. Now it feels more like a social media app than a working out app, and I really enjoy logging things in this app. And I think I worked out 76 days, which is bad, but something is better than nothing. You can see things were getting bad from June onwards. June, July, and slowly September I was completely sick, so you can excuse. But I think I in March, I think because I was preparing for the AWS exam, I skipped gym, and it got too hectic in my office as well. And then in June, my habits got really bad. My habits, my schedule, and my motivation to do anything got really bad. So I skipped gym, and that's where all bad things started to happen. I started logging in Heavy Up since mid Jan, and then Feb I had a wrist injury, and kept becoming worse and worse. But in October, I had high motivation. More than high motivation, I was working from home throughout October, so it was very easy for me to balance it out, because that reduced 2 hours of my travel, which I spent on my gym and workout. So books I read in 2024. So one good habit I cultivated this year is reading. I wasn't very consistent, but I quickly realized that if I'm not reading, I'm not gonna get better at my technical job. So the only way to get better at tech, or get better as an engineer, is to read. And so I started reading technical books, and somehow I just didn't like using social media apps, Instagram, and everything. So I started reading non-tech, fun children books, and all those stuff as well. Let me go and go through each and everything that I read. I think it is very small list, but still a big number for me. The first book I read was The Practice of Programmer by Rob Pike. If you are into Google ecosystem, you know who Rob Pike is. He's the author of Go language, one of the author of Go language, a very influential person in Google. and this book was suggested to me because my code quality was really bad. Since I was building stuff on my own, there was no time to get things reviewed. I wanted to drastically improve my code quality, so I was suggested to read this book. It's a pretty old book, but if you are into C programming and if you can understand C programming, this book is a great book. This book has every details which you want, like styles, how do you design, how do you write interface, how you debug, how do you write test driven code and everything. This won't talk about how exactly to write, and this is more about naming well and writing things properly so that you don't mess things up. This book mainly talks about how do you structure things, how do you structure programming, and how do you structure programming concepts around without taking deep dive into technicalities. If you know C language, and then this book is a great book. So this is the first book I read in this year, and I could drastically see within a month or two after reading this book. Every time when I write something, I would think what is written in this book and I would incorporate in, and I got good feedback. I can personally feel that my quality of code has increased. The second book which I read is the classic Designing Data Intensive Applications. Day by day, I'm just venturing into systems and networks, and this book is the go-to book for everybody. How do you design multiple systems talking to each other, consensus, message queues, everything you need to build an scalable and maintainable system. But this is a very high level book, so it doesn't dwell deep into how do you implement things, and it doesn't handhold you on implementing stuff. Rather, it just talks about high level design and then just moves forward. So I read this book twice this year because once I read it in a single stretch from the start to end. The other time I went on referring topics one after the other while implementing. Especially, I learned a lot about clock, quorum, 2PC, and all those stuff. Especially this guy Martin Klepman has his own YouTube channel where he explains these concepts as well. So if you don't understand anything from this book, which I didn't, especially message queues were a little difficult for me, I went on to his YouTube channel, saw those videos, and then I was able to implement them. So this is the second read of this year. Third read is Concurrency in Go. I really suck writing concurrent code in Go, but I have no other choice to write that in my job. So I just wanted to feel more confident in writing concurrent codes. So I went through this book by Catherine Cox Boudet. This is a very famous book. I think this book is from 2017. I think there is only one edition, and that edition was in 2017. So I was able to write Go routines earlier as well, but this book gave me the confidence to write code which don't get stuck in some race condition or doesn't create some chaos. So this book was very helpful for me. This is the third read of this year. It's a different book from the all other threes. It is highly impossible for somebody to read this book in a single stretch. This Bonnet-Schoop's Applied Cryptography is the, I think, go-to book for cryptography for anybody who is getting into cryptography. I was very lucky enough to build a cryptography system this year. So before building the system, I wanted to understand few algorithms. That's why I somebody suggested me this book. And I think this is Bonnet-Schoop is a professor in Stanford, and they have a Coursera course as well, which is free. From this book, what I understood is to implement cryptography, it has to be implemented by experts, not some random software engineer like me. So I started using existing packages, but it was good learning that I went through this book. Now I have a little bit more understanding about the cryptography space. I think I read three chapters in this book, and I'm thinking of reading a chapter or two next year as well. I think in 5 to 6 years, I might have covered one round of reading this book. So, in terms of non-technical, I just started reading some fun books. I think from November. So, the first book which I read is Deep Work. I think this is a old book. It's not very recent. I think it's been around for a decade now. I'm not sure. I think 2017, 2018 book. So the things which have been told in this book has been fleshed out so many times across books or across interviews and across YouTube videos. So it didn't feel very new to me, but I read this book. I could resonate with certain things. I couldn't resonate with a lot of things, and then I had a realization that self-help books aren't my thing. So it was helpful to understand that. My main aim in reading non-technical book is to just read some children book, have fun, just get through the time, and then go to sleep. Second book I read this year is How to Lie with Statistics by Darrell Huff. This book is a 1958 or 59 book. This and the things which are written in this book are valid even today. This book talks about how these marketing strategies and how these guys just fool us using statistics. It just talks about all basic things like graphs, mean, median, mode. All and remember that this is a 1958 book, which is still relevant. So I enjoyed this book, but since it's a 1958 book, a lot of things which has been spoken in this book, we already know them. So my aim was to just start reading books which were in my curriculum back then in my school, but which I didn't focus on reading. So I think I started with Invisible Man. I liked it because it is mind-boggling how somebody has written a science fiction story like this back in the day. I think it is 18 something. I think. And then I read this same thing, very inspiring, Treasure Island. Just how somebody wrote this book in 18 something. Just it's just mind-boggling how they come up with such ideas back in the day. I just don't understand how people read 10 to 12 technical books in a year. It doesn't even make sense to me. If you are referring something, then and there that's fine. But I wanted to read 5 books this year, especially Barney and Shoop. I'm very much sure that I'm not gonna complete reading that book. So I might read a chapter or two at max this year. But my main aim is reading Modern Operating Systems by Tannenbaum, Computer Networks by James F. Koros, Database Internals, that O'Reilly's book, and then Mythical Man Month. I think I am very sure that I'm just gonna read only these 4 books this year. In terms of non-technical, I just got a bunch of books from an old bookshop, and then a few of them were gifted to me. So I just ordered them one after the other, and then I'm just gonna pick the first one in the queue and then keep reading them throughout this year. Because I have no expertise in picking a non-technical just fun book, because since if it is fun, I would continue to read and then I would complete that book. Else I would move on to the next one, because I just wanted to reduce cognition load on all these stuff. This is the most important part of this video, the projects I built. So the first half of this year was super quiet, because it was the majority of the time I spent on my work and then reading. But the second part of the work I just built around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, almost 6 to 7 full length projects this year. So the first one which I built this year is called SpottyTube, which is something I really wanted for myself, and that's a very important realization which I had this year. Majority of the project which I built this year is just for myself. I just want something, and then I would go on to build that. Only then I had the motivation to complete that project. So the first one I built this year is called SpottyTube. what it does is just takes your Spotify playlist and just converts into an Apple Music or YouTube playlist. So that's the first project I built. And then the second project is just I was learning about JSON Web Tokens, and then I just built a JSON Web Token validator, and then it just reads the content out of it when you pass in the secret. And then I happened to work on a Python solo project in my office, which didn't, spoiler alerts, which didn't take off. But for that, I know how to write Python code, but there is more than just writing a code. It's just understanding the style of how a language is written and then following through. So I went through Google's style guide. I think it's called Black Formatter or something, and then I created my own Python template so that people can use it. That's a very fun project. This is the first time I read a style guide. I've been forced to read Go style guide, but I haven't been able to complete that fully as of now. So that's my first style guide. And then I built my very important project. It's called Good Morning Sunshine, and things started to fall in place since August. I think from August I built 6 projects, which is a huge number for me, and all 6 are full-length proper projects. So the first one is Good Morning Sunshine. I think that's my first indie project as well. This is my first indie product I built this year because I got used to building web apps, so that I wanted to challenge myself to build something as quick as possible and deploy it as quick as possible. So that's why I just built this platform called Good Morning Sunshine. And surprisingly, I got 300 rupees from, I don't know who paid me. Somebody paid once 100 rupees and then once 200 rupees for a free app. So yeah, which covered my cloud cost for this quarter. This is the first web development project I built this year, and I might not build anything in 2025 because it is not very interesting for me. Majority of my time goes in writing this front end code, which I'm not too interested in. Other projects are very interesting. So this I built a distributed key value pair database. So this interlinks with the design data intensive application by Martin Klipman. So when I read this book, I understood about consistent hashing, then sharding, how do heartbeat transmission, and all those things. So I just wanted to put into work. So I built my own distributed database on top of BoltDB. I think it is BoltDB, yes, on top of BoltDB. And later I built an shell because I was reading about some operating system commands, and then I just built my own shell in C language. So that was very interesting. And then the most interesting project of this year for me is this GoRaft. While reading the same data intensive application book, I learned about raft consensus algorithm. So that's a really hard algorithm to implement, and I was able to come close to 70% accuracy. I think maybe 80% accuracy in implementing the raft consensus algorithm. I think all these videos. So one good thing I did this year is I built all those projects, took the demo videos, and I uploaded in this channel. You can just go there, see all those demo videos. And sometimes I went on to explain those concepts as well, because I have a dedicated video for this void distributed DB and so on. And then one more interesting project I built is called 3 hints. The video is there in my channel. You can go check it out. So since I'm a competitive programmer, I wanted to help people out on how to think and approach these algorithmic problems. So I built a LeetCode extension which helps you solve the problem step by step, and then it analyzes your code, finds any mistake, helps you out in solving the problem. Instead of you directly jumping into the solution and looking at the solution, this extension would systematically help you in solving the problem. There's a video in my channel about how this works. There's a demo video in my channel. Go check it out. And then the final project. One more good thing that happened to me in this year is buying a Raspberry Pi. I just got the latest Raspberry Pi, Raspberry Pi 5, and then I just started exploring various things which is possible through a Raspberry Pi. So one important thing which I wanted is to shoot a very long time lapse, like a time lapse for 10 hours, 12 hours, and so on. And I wanted a lot more flexibility in while creating and taking time lapse. So I built this whole Linux based program which you can run it in your Linux system, which takes long time lapses. And there is a video in my channel as well explaining how I wrote it, what's there in this app, and everything. So I think this is the list of projects I built this year. Next year, most probably I would follow the same trend as this year, like study first half and then start implementing things which I studied in the first half and the second half of the year. Things that didn't go well are socializing. I just did zero socializing and I don't worry about it because it doesn't even make sense. But the thing which worries about but the thing that worries me a lot is my health. This year I am gonna prioritize. I'm gonna fix things, fix my eating habits, fix everything. I think that's the reading books and then fixing my health. Those are just two things which I'm gonna do this whole year. See you guys in some other video. Bye.